Hey y'all, it's a bit of a different video, but I figured to give it a shot. So I know a lot of people have been doing these tier lists, and I think it's my turn. So I I don't have much criteria. I know I've seen, especially I think Lasers got really popular just because he went in depth with points and standings and stuff. But I think I'd like to do this how I like my driving, by gut instinct and not by the math. And I think that's the take into account for a lot of these drivers' capabilities, their instincts, and of course their time trialing is important at times too. So I don't know. Who knows if this will be good or not? Enjoy anyways. So I think I'm gonna start it off. I'll just start in order. Actually, hold on. I think we're gonna start this off with the most obvious, and then maybe progress to the more difficult ones when the boundaries are set clearer. I think first off, easily slap Markusen up here. He's Everyone's been calling him the god. Everyone's been calling him, somehow he's so much better than everyone else, and we don't really understand why. I mean, he's good, right? He's amazing. Everybody knows him, so you can see for yourself what he's like. Um, Another few easy ones I think to do. Laser's up here. He's been falling off, and I've seen it in his attitude about it too. He's really not liking it. I feel bad for him. I really do, because he used to be on top of the world. Back in the beginnings of FC1 2021, he dominated almost every single race. A few times people would get in front of him, like Digitalis or um, some other people, but he mostly stayed dominant through that race or that league, and nothing could ever get close to him. I know he won again this year. I know he did get second place in off-season 2021, but recently he's been falling off, and I really hope he can get back to what he was. And yeah, I think it's more sort of a um, kind of a power ramp thing, and he's somehow fallen behind. And I don't understand why. He's great. He does everything super well, but sometimes maybe it gets in his head or something. I'm not really sure. For now, I'm gonna leave him here. Maybe he might go lower. We'll see. Um, let's see. There's a few people that are at the bottom. I'm sorry, Husker. She's a great person, but she's got to be lower. She's been getting better slowly, and she doesn't like it, but she's been getting a little bit better. Another one I think that belongs down here. Walta is at the bottom. He's a pretty new member of the community. Who knows how long he'll stay? Who knows how he'll get better? It's all really up in the air for him. Can't really say much. I haven't really raced personally with him, although I've raced with a ton of these other drivers. So that's him. Think a person to highlight in the past is Digitalis, who goes up with Laser for sure. But who knows? He hasn't raced in so long, or I haven't seen him race. I haven't seen anything from him in a long time. And he was comparable to Laser at his prime, and maybe at, dare I say, Laser's prime compared to the community. They were pretty close, but I don't know where he's at now. If he ever raced again, and that goes with a lot of people. I think Alessandro is up there too, but he doesn't race much anymore. He's done it a few times recently, but I don't know. So I would probably put him over here for now. Yeah, I think that's where he stands. Um, let's see. Zaddy, he's interesting. I think he's the same kind of situation to Digitalis. I mean, I have seen him race a few times recently, but he's been pretty poor at it. So, for his prime, he would be up here probably. But recently, I think he's even lower. He doesn't practice anymore. He has not found the power curve that the community has represented, right? I think that's how he is. You notice that a lot with these older drivers that I can mention that they've either won races or anything like that. But recently, just because there's so many new drivers that seem to be way better, especially people like Makuzen or even like Pig and Rocket, that are just like so much harder to get to that top spot. So yeah, following that trend, Mr. Green Jeans, he's only time trying. I really haven't seen him recently. Of course he held the record numerous times of Akina, and he's been doing great sometimes on the track in the past, but who knows where he's at right now. So I guess this is more of a view for these older guys of what they were before. So maybe I should move Zaddy up. I don't know. Let's go Akira. He's pretty easy. He doesn't race anymore, and that's fine. And he knows. He's been around here for a long time. He's one of the oldest members of ABG, along with Adam and Julian or so. And he's a great person to have on a team, or he's a great person to have with our ABG team, but he just doesn't rate, which is completely fine. Nothing against him, but yeah, that's probably where he'll stand. So Pig is definitely up here. He is a great prodigy, I think, right now. He's been going pretty good recently, and he's been getting much better and better. It's astonishing to see some of the things he's done in some of the other leagues. He wasn't, he's pretty new, so he wasn't in all the older stuff, specifically off season. I think that was a good comparison to show people's skill was off season, but that's getting a little bit outdated now. And I know we have the new one coming up, but you can't. And that'll be a great. I think people's maybe minds of what this will look like when off season comes, right? Because nobody has grinded as much for tracks and stuff as we will for off season, right? We've done it for FC1, maybe spend a few days on it, but I think off season is gonna be one where we spend at least an hour a day on a track, and that will really shake up some of the standings here maybe and stuff. Let's do another easy one, I guess. Tomax, I haven't seen true racing. The last time I've really seen him do anything is CGP of 2021, and I'm sorry to say that he was not adequate there. And right, he was my teammate for that. He was reserving for Julian because he lagged out during that race. So if you ever seen the races, that is the reason why he was our reserve driver. Julian lagged out, and you know that I lagged out too during the race. But he was our reserve driver, and unfortunately that we got handed him instead of some of the other guys. So like, too bad we couldn't get Crispy on board, or I guess later Adam or Merkusen could have joined our team for that race. But unfortunately, just for whatever reason, it came to Tomax, and he wasn't adequate enough. He got 14th out of 15, only in front of me, who got disqualified. I think Jolly's been getting better. He used to be lower, but I think he's been getting better enough where he's starting to prove himself. He's starting to, put some times down that can be decent. I've seen on some leaderboards for some of the tracks on specifically Boat Labs, because I know he does a lot of stuff there, and he's a big member of the Boat Labs community, so that'd be why. I'm looking at Zekro and Zervius here at the bottom, and actually I think they're very similar drivers. They both at their prime time, because Zervius has kind of fallen off. Both at their time, they did a lot of stuff. They competed in the biggest of races, but maybe they weren't the best at them. So we know that Zervius qualified for off season, 15th out of 15th, which is good for him. And Zekro, I believe he did qualify, and so they're very similar, I think. And they got that type of mentality during Zervius' offseason and Zekro's future offseason, the mentality of nothing to lose. And I think that type of mentality can bring a lot to a driver. They could really pull some risky stuff, maybe get some sort of crazy race that happens and pull off. I know looking at someone like Mariana had that same experience in off-season 2021 at No Name, and you could hear her excitement that she really had nothing to lose at the beginning, but when she learned that she got fourth at the end, she was she was the most excited that I think anyone was during that race. So good job for Mariana for keeping up with it still. But anyway, for these two guys, I'm gonna leave it maybe like this for now. I think I might change it. I don't know where Zervius hasn't been doing much recently, but I think I'll leave him there. Adam, I'll leave him bang in the center. I think he can pull off some good stuff if he practices. But he's a commentator first and foremost. He doesn't race that much, so putting him there is still in a good spot for him, considering he doesn't do much racing, even though he's been part of the community for a long time. And I think that the experience helps him with it too. Um, Rocket Rays, he's a newer member of my standards, right? Because I've been around since, oh gosh, forever, compared to the rest of these guys. So he's a newer member, but he's been popping off. He's been winning lots of races. He's been putting in the work at FC1. Amazing to see some of his stuff there specifically. So I'm gonna put him up here maybe I'm gonna move Digitalis down like this. Nito, I think he's hard, maybe a little bit. He can be consistent, but he has lagged out a few times. But I guess I shouldn't take that into account. So I think he can be up here, at the bottom of A plus. He can get some good races in. I think he came from Stoneworks, I want to say is where he came from. And I think he's the only guy from that area to come up through the community, which I'm a little surprised about. There's other people over there that I kind of expected to come over, but I guess they wanted to stay where they were. Maybe because we're too fast for those guys. But Nito stuck along, and he's been a great member since. And yeah, Sir Feeder Kid, man, he's a he's a great teammate, and him and Noah were great teammates in Team Storm. He carried us some of these races, specifically F1 Appleseed was quite a showing for him compared to our team. That was when I didn't show up. Crispy reserved for me, but he was the only one who carried points that team, and we still managed to only lose 1 point to Squadra Sante, which is amazing. I think he got third that race, and it really shows how Sir Feeder Kid can clutch up at the moments that are needed, and he can be pretty consistent if he knows what he's doing. So I think I'm gonna put him up here with Green Jeans. This seems to be an older category with these two guys right now, but hopefully we'll fill that out later. And specifically leave myself out to the end. Maybe I won't put myself on. I don't know. I feel like I could definitely overhype myself or maybe criminalize myself too much for this, but I don't know. We'll see at the end. Um, Toki is an old soul, and he's fallen off. I was mentioning this with the laser a little bit, but I think Toki has really shown it that he used to be so much faster than anyone else. This is before laser's time even. That he was so much faster. He was dominating races. Um, but recently he's kind of been lost in the community here just a bit. So unfortunately, I think I'm gonna have to put him down here. He can really pull some stuff together, but right now, from what I've seen, I don't know. I don't know. Let's go Ozone here for a minute. I'm just gonna bring him up here for now. Ozone, I don't know. You know, I've been around him for a long time. He was an off season with me. He will be my teammate next season, so that'll be fun to see his funny comments that I think everyone knows about. His personality and stuff can shine through. I don't know is the right word, but it can really come out during the races and my team calls. But he's been interesting from what I've seen. He's a great time trialer. He can really get some good laps down and get some good racing when he puts the time into it. When he doesn't, it's a little bit less. He hasn't done much racing. Hopefully he'll put in all the work in off season as a teammate. But I don't know. I'm gonna leave him here. I know what he's done in 2021 off season, but I think I'm gonna leave him here for now. Crafties, I think I'm gonna have to land here. I don't know, maybe A minus with Zekro. He's a good team advisor. He really is. It's great. I've worked with him a few times for BRWC. He can really help drivers learn lines, and he has good strategy and stuff, but he just doesn't have the best skills as a driver. So that's perfectly fine. He's a great team advisor. He comes up, I think, number 2 behind Jolly. Those two guys are really the two team advisors. If I ever had a team, would be my first and foremost to go to. But as for driving, yeah, he's right there. I think let's go another teammate, Lapis. I've worked with him for the entirety of FC1 this year. He's been amazing. He's really improved. He used to be kind of a little bit faster than me when he first joined. I think maybe I beat him a few times. I'm not sure. But recently, he has become a force to be reckoned with, and a type of guy you don't want to mess around with. He's been grinding for the the world record at Akina, and I applaud him for trying that hard, and yet he still hasn't got it. He's kind of fallen off um, his pace on running that, but he's gonna be, yeah, like I said, he's gonna be a force to be reckoned with. So I'm gonna put him up here. Actually, I'm gonna bring him up here. I think he'd be fast on rocket at times too, and these two are a great pair. And I think they're together for offseason, which is definitely gonna be hard for some of our other teams. Um, let's see. Let's go Stinky. Yeah, let's go Stinky Socks. He's I think he's just about gone at this point. I don't. He used to be good. He qualified for Austin. He qualified pretty well, and he did all right there in 2021. But the last few times I've seen him, he's raced in A League a few times as reserve drivers for some reason. I'm not sure why. But him and Paul would reserve, and they were absolutely dominated by the League A drivers, and maybe it's because they didn't practice the track at all, or they're just not good anymore. And honestly, he's definitely fallen off from his prime at least. He's a BRWC driver first and foremost, but I don't see him anymore. So I gotta bring him down here. I gotta bring him down here with maybe Zervis and Zekro. But it's hard to compare people like Stinky and Zekro are hard to compare to. I think I'll back Zervis in front. Actually, I've seen him do better recently, from the limited time anyway. Crucero, he can be fast. He can be really fast. He's a hard and true time trialer. Doing the races, I don't know. I haven't raced with him too much, but I know he's a good time trialer. I've seen him put good impressive records on tracks and stuff. So he could be pretty good sometimes. Oh, Renault cost. Okay, Renault is interesting. When he first joined, or when he first got big, he was right at the peak of off season. He's I think did he win the first race? I'm pretty sure he did. Might be wrong. Whatever the case, he was first. And we didn't see much of Renegas before off season. And man, I still the when CGP the first lap hit, if you remember the three shortcut racing drivers, it was Renault, Ozone, and Sam, absolutely blew it out of the gates on the first lap, going 1, 2, and 3. And with Renault leading them, that was that got a little scary for us other drivers. Like, man, is this really going to be the team that's going to destroy us all? But he's not much of a time trial. You don't see him, put up the amazing track laps. He doesn't get the fastest lap most of the time, specifically people like Lapis, Rocket, and Pig maybe. But he can drive for sure. He can handle impressive moves and stuff. Put himself out there when it's on the track. I'm excited to see what he does in the next offseason because he really dominated last year, and we'll see what he does this time. Sorry, Skip Snuff and Killer Lil. I haven't really raced with. I've seen Killer Lil a few times maybe. I think 1 or 2 races I've been with him, and I don't know. He's been silent almost to the weird point where he could become really pretty good, but I have no idea because I've never really heard anyone really talk about him too much. So I'm gonna leave him here because I know sometimes I think I've seen him in front of me a few times maybe, but Skip Snuff I have no idea. I really don't. He drives, so so he's probably better than these people. Let's actually move it like this. But let's go with Priority. Priority's been interesting. I've only raced Priority as never as a teammate, and I've gotten in front and behind him a few times, and he gets really annoyed with me when I'm in front. I guess most people do, but for some reason, him more than a lot of other people, and also Ozone. But I can pretty easily hold him off, and the races recently that I've been with him, because I'm in the same league with him in BRWC League B. The last race I recall is that I was able to pretty quickly dominate him in the practice rounds, but when the race hit, I had so many inconsistencies that it was hard. Yeah, I think he did beat me that race, but in the practice round, it was so easy to overtake him for some reason. So I'm gonna bring him down here, I think. I think that's uh no, I feel bad because I think he's better than Zach Rowe. Yeah, he can be better than Zach Rowe. I'll leave him there for now, I guess. I can change things later. I was talking to Papas. He's interesting. He's improved a lot. He's a time trialer, I think. He can do pretty good at qualifying, especially. He always does better at qualifying. Maybe not the hardcore like practice time trialing as we did in off-season qualifying, but um, he can really pop off during that qualifying session where you only get a time, a timed amount of laps, and then you got to get your position. And I think he has really shown himself through there. A few times he's won a few FC1 races, one or two. So he can definitely show himself, but other times he can be completely silent and forgettable. Actually, let's bring Zaddy down. I see Toki here, and I think he'd be better than all these guys. Yeah, that seems a little better. Let's go Vicky. Vicky doesn't race anymore, and she really doesn't want to anymore. Which kind of sucks. She's a great person to have on the track. I remember, her always laughing about whatever happens, some crazy shenanigans that happen. But and she's a great team advisor for when I'm seeing at Shortcut Racing. She can be a pretty comedic team advisor for the guys there. She's not that. I don't think she's that fast anymore. She's a great person to have. So don't leave out on us, Vicky. Same with Mariana. Mariana qualified, or she was a reserve driver actually in off season. And she's done pretty well in FC1, the races she has done. And this was a while ago, but still, she goes pair and pair with Vicky, so that's why I'm putting next one after another. But she can do good, and that sometimes she would yell crazy things when we had proximity chat in FC1 races.
Move. Don't come close. Hey, I'm just passing. I'm not trying to hurt you. I'm just passing. I'm just passing. Stay there. I'm just passing. Fuck off. Fuck off. Fuck off.
Yeah, I think this is more turning into a story time with Blue than really, the the leaderboard that I have going here, the tier list. Crispy, he's been around for a long, long time. He's one of the first guys. He joined I think a few days before me or something. I think it was later. Anyway, he was very close to when I joined. And he used to be good. The first couple races that he did, he could really put some stuff together. He wasn't ever the fastest, but he could be up there if he wanted to. And recently, the past year probably, I haven't seen that from him. I think he goofs off way too much for what compared. He goofs off way too much than he probably should if he wants to get higher on this leaderboard, but I think that's perfectly fine that he does that. He's a great person to have, and I love him when he's in the calls. If you ever notice my videos, that they're always longer when Crispy's in the call, and I hope you guys like him too. He's he can be a bit loud and annoying at times, but I think he's a great person to have. But as for where he is, I'm excited to see what he does in offseason. He's qualified with the help of the Greasy Gaming Squad. So hopefully he can do well there, but he did good, then he did bad, and he's been getting a little better. So it's really hard. He could be anywhere from probably A plus to maybe B. I think I'm gonna leave him here for now. Actually, I'm looking at B, and I think this could be changed. Charlie's not that good. I can't compare these two, but Sonic Gamer, he's got to be down here with these guys. He's not fast. Actually, maybe even lower. Yeah. He's not fast, and my only real experience with him driving was the last FC1 race where he let him drive, and that was great. I'm glad that we did that for him, but he just wasn't fast, which is perfectly fine. Okay, add another one. Absolutely no clue, and that's just because I've some of these guys. I don't know. This guy, I'm gonna go check back and be like, what is this guy's name before I do this? I don't remember. Gosh. And then people like Kevin, I gotta put here. I've seen him a few times, and I know he can be good, but it's so inconsistent. I really don't know. And maybe I should do this with some of these other guys. I like skip stuff. Yeah, he's not. I don't know. I placed him there, but I really don't know. I absolutely don't no clue could tell me. Um, Here's outro. That's what I think of him. I, it's so hard. With him, I really don't know. He could be here. Nah, I think he's better. I think he could be here maybe. Um, he's he's shown he's been around for not incredibly long, but he's been around for longer than some of these other guys. And I really don't think he's shown any improvement at all. Which kind of sucks. Maybe if he's been practicing, but he stayed in his place the whole time, and I think that's probably around here. Um, Same with Jock. I think he's team advised for off season. I know these two both mainly race in a BRWC, but I think I'm gonna stick them next to each other right there. I can compare Vicky. Vicky can go with her friend. There you go. There you go, Vicky. You can be next to Mariana, and I'll keep it that way. If we're leaving Gustav out here, Gustav, here. You can be right next to your pal, maybe too. I've noticed that some of these I've glanced at some of these other tier lists. Some people are putting him really high up. I think I've seen one or two where he's next to Makuzen. I can't agree with that. I've been around Gustav for forever. I was his first teammate in BRWC, and he wasn't that good then, but he's definitely improved now. And the whole Gustav you can win this race later in his career was really a breakthrough moment for him. Wasn't able to win a race for a while, and he got podiums a few times, and eventually he did win. His first win was at an Eldham race, which I guess could be undeserved just because Eldham's pretty weak. But that's his first win, and I think later he did win an FC1 race or two. So, but I haven't seen much wins from him recently. I've seen him a few times, maybe on the podium or close to it, but I no, he can't be compared to Mokuzen or maybe Pig. I think we'll put him in front of Renner and falling off. Yeah. These two used to be very good a few months ago, but with new additions like Rocket, Pig, and Lapis, they're falling behind, which kind of sucks. I like to see some of these older guys really come up and stay where they are, but I guess it's good to cycle through, the new drivers and faster guys. Go Noah. Noah was a great teammate in off season. He was a replacement for Julian. At first we were nervous because technically his first race was an off-season race, and it was a little nervous to have him be there just because we have no idea who he was.
Where are you from, Peter?
Germany.
Oh, nice.
And you?
I'm from the Czech Republic, like right next to you.
Going into Monza, his first race, it was like I have no idea what he could do. Let's just find out. And he has really shown himself. Man, he could prove himself. I know he's a bit younger, but he's got his way with boat racing. So I think I'm gonna leave him here, maybe a little fast than these guys. Especially during off season, he was really good. And when he did race, he could be comparable to Surfeeder Kid. Those guys were pretty close. I think they alternated positions team wise. I know Surfeeder Kid got third in that league, and Noah did a little less. That's because he didn't race a few times. Comfy's been improving. He really has. I remember when he was just as slow as maybe some of these other guys down here. Maybe like Husker. But he's been improving quite a bit. I think I'm gonna put him in front of these guys, even in front of. I think he could probably beat Altra. They've never compared each other, but and really, there's probably a few people that you'd have to compare to get to a comparison between these two. But I think I'm gonna leave him there. Maybe he can be better, and I think he can definitely be better. And he definitely has a potential to stay in front of these two guys because I don't think these guys are improving anytime soon. Fallen Noob. Time to put him here. Yeah, I know he's down here. He's definitely below B, but I don't know past that. Same with Skip Snuff. Paragon. Uh, he qualified pretty well in off season, but he did not make it this year. And maybe there's some outside reasons for that that I won't get into. But he can he can be fast in these two. But when he has a bad day, he has a bad day. He falls apart pretty quickly. That goes with same. Actually, I would say that about Priority too. That he can, yeah, that's just how he rolls. Jay Modi, he pops off a few times, but most time I think he stays towards the back. So maybe he goes over here. He races a lot. He does. He's in a lot of leagues. I think he's in MGK. He tries out for FC1 quite often. I think did you ever see? Maybe he did. But yeah, I see him racing. His stream notifications show a few times, so I know that he races in a ton of races, which is cool for him. So he'll definitely improve over time. I'm looking at Crispy here. Actually, let's move him up. I think he'd be faster than Adam, and this could be a debate and a half between these two. And I'm curious to see who, these two are paired against each other in off season. So maybe I don't know who's gonna come out of these two guys. So we'll see. And I think I could be in there too. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens at the first race. Soda Soaker is time trialer first and foremost, so he can really put himself up there. But I think he lives off of practicing. If he doesn't, he can't progress much further. And that goes the same with Crucero. And yeah, yeah, I think he'll go there. We'll move things around after I place all these guys initially. I can't recognize this person. I think he's been around for a while, but I don't know who he is, so I'm sorry. This is fantasy. I've raced in calls with him a few times. He has beaten me, I think more than I've beaten him overall, but the times he crashes and doesn't do well, it could be pretty significant. So I think I'm gonna leave him. Actually, I think that's a good spot for him. Let's bring Crafties down. Yeah. Now I'm left with me and Evil. Putting it maybe here. Yeah. She's great. I've seen her race a few times. Interesting. She's off and on, but she can be a great driver. She's hilarious too. That's great. I want to be in a team with her. So Evil, if I don't know what it would be, but it'd be a great. You'd be a great teammate to have. And I'll definitely get to know, more how you drive. Because I don't really. I know you can perform well, but I don't know how well you drive. And maybe off season will prove me wrong on that. But she can she can perform well. I just don't know how. I don't know much. And we're left with me. Maybe I should leave myself here just so I don't offend anyone that's like, oh, he's putting himself too low, or uh, he's putting himself too high because he's like this. It's hard. It's hard to prove, especially me, who I'm in the mid. Some of these mid ranges. There's so many people that I'm like, oh yeah, I've beaten him. I think I have beaten Toki. Yeah, I've beaten Toki. And also people like, yeah, I think Zekro has beaten me a few times. I think Mariana has beaten me a few times. So like, I could be in any of this. So, um, people like I've seen, like Laser. His is pretty easy, right? He can compare himself to, these top 10 or so guys, and he could place himself somewhere up there and it'd be, expected. He'd be like, oh yeah, he's up there. But me, there's so much more people, right? Let's say I put myself right here, Soda Soaker's gonna be so mad, dude. He's gonna be like, what are you doing? I've never seen you on a time trial sheet ever. Like, yeah, you're right. But, but like I said, I have beaten Toki before. And I think I can still do it. Maybe not all the time, actually. Toki can be good. um, but and other times I've seen even like Crafties. I think he's beaten me a long time ago. I think maybe right here would be good. And I don't feel bad for Nito and Alessandro. He's gonna be annoyed. Um, especially Alessandro. Sorry. Um, uh, actually no, because Ozone's. Gosh, I've gotten this out. I'm pretty comparable to Evil. I think we're pretty even. Um, Osaka used to be. So maybe we bring us both down here. I don't know. Maybe right here. Yeah, I think that'll be good for now. So let's review this. Let's go from top to bottom. Walta, yeah. Let's bring Akira down there with him. It's hard to base Akira. He hasn't raced in ages, but the times he has, I remember he just it's been subpar, which is all right. Same with Sonic. I think Husker actually probably beats Sonic. She practices. Not willingly like practice, quotation practice, but um she's driven a few times just because, and she yeah. Um Looking at some of these other ones. Let's bring Stinky down beneath these two. I will keep you together, don't worry. You'll be fine right there. I think um yeah. Digitalis hasn't raced in a while, so I can expect him to bring it down maybe a little bit just because of power ramp and stuff. Maybe even between these two guys. Whoops. Between these. Oh gosh. There. Um, let's bring the two Team Storm guys together too. I think that could be good. But yeah, I think there's a few duos in here that definitely can help me compare. These two, just because I've raced with them a long time, they're a significant duo. I would say Gustav and Renault are the comedy duo. They produce great content and stuff, and they show so much. There's so much that you could see about them that it's pretty easy to understand how they drive, how they act and stuff. And I think they're great personalities too. Yeah, so I'm excited to race with Gustav for off season, and Renault I haven't really been a teammate with him, and I want to. He's great. But I think I'll keep him there. Um, and then other duos, I think me and Evil are a good duo. Like I said, I want to race with you, Evil. These two are also another one. I really want to see this play out in off season. I really do. This will be so amazing. They have so much against each other. Crispy has done because Adam's pretty prevalent on the staff team and stuff for ABG, and I know Crispy is kind of not broken, but he's bended the rules for that, which makes Adam maybe a little annoyed a few times, and Crispy's done it by, he's also done crazy stuff like, photoshopping Adam's face or whatever into random things, and that makes him, makes it hilarious. And they've had two complications, so I really want to see this play out, and I think, watching, if you ever watch these off-season races, or you're a part of them and you're watching this, this will be a duo to find. It'd be great. And then these two, yeah. Um, they're basically made for each other. I can't say much else. They hang out all the time, like even IRL, they do stuff. I guess it's more personality than skill based, but they just belong next to each other. They have to. Um, Same with Jolly and Husker. So they've worked together a long time. I know they're in calls together quite often. And that's just for like either track building or plug-in building, or mix of the two or whatever. So I think that's that. Okay. I think that about covers it. I definitely could give more thought if I really went into this like multiple days in a row and if I spend more time, but that's gonna be so boring. It's just me just sitting there, thinking. But this is where I'm gonna leave it for now. Maybe I'll change some stuff later, and yeah, this has been my opinion, and some stories. See you guys around. See you in the next off-season race. I think it's gonna be the next video here. Uh, we'll see. You'll see. I'll know eventually. All right. See you.